Good afternoon. Hello, pleasure to be here. We are the SFJAZZ Collective, and before I start talking, let me introduce you to the members of the band. On our keyboards, this is Mr. Edward Simon. On the upright bass, this is Matt Brewer. On the drums, Kendrick Scott. On the tenor saxophone, Mr. David Sanchez. On the trumpet, Michael Rodriguez. And my name is Warren Wolf on the vibraphone. So we represent the SFJAZZ Collective, or the SFJAZZ Center. It's a nonprofit, not too far from here. And this group has been around. This is season 21 now. And we had the pleasure in May of visiting the Young Museum, where we had a chance to see a whole bunch of unreleased artwork. And we were given the duty of taking some of that artwork, whichever pieces that we like, and we put music to a lot of those artworks. We'll be performing everything in its entirety starting tomorrow night through Sunday afternoon. So if you guys are free and would like to see everything, we will be performing again nightly tomorrow, Friday night and Saturday night and Sunday afternoon at the SFJAZZ Center. Today we're going to perform a few numbers from that series. We're going to perform first a piece of mine that I composed. Let me just tell you a little bit about it. It's titled My Father's FBI Files. It's composed by an artist, a Bay Area artist named Sadie Barnett. Her father was a former Black Panther member, and he started the Compton chapter of the Black Panthers. The artwork, we don't have it on display here. It's actually an FBI photo, and what she did was she decided to take the photo, instead of having it look so gruesome, she put beauty to the artwork. She put like butterflies and elephants and things like that. So I thought it was pretty cool. But I'm going to actually talk more about the piece during the piece while we're performing it. So this is my composition, my contribution to the band, My Father's FBI Files. Hope you enjoy this one. The story and art on the wall out in public, I am free at last. Before founding the Compton chapter of the Black Panther Party in 1968, I was a member of the United States Army fighting in the Vietnam War. After founding the chapter, the FBI put me on their counterintelligence program watch list, better known as the COINTELPRO. This FBI program has successfully carried out a complex network of operations aimed to discredit, dismantle, and destroy Black radical activists, organizations, and movements. Boy, they sure were up to something sneaky. Can you believe that I was considered a terrorist because I was organizing with the Black Panthers? They even were tracking my every move. Shoot, even John Edgar Hoover, who served as the final director of the Bureau of Investigation, had his signature on those papers that looked at my family history, birthdays of my siblings, and even where my mother was born. They even got testimonies from my neighbors, co-workers, and friends such as Angela Davis and Erica Huggins, but they did nothing but praise my character. let me tell you about the files. The FBI file illustrates that there was an informant at one of the Panther meetings who noticed that I was there in uniform. So he reported to the FBI that I was a government employee. And because I was a government employee and they were investigating me, they found out that I was living with a woman. Now, I wasn't married to this woman, but we had a son together. But they said this was behavior unbecoming of a government employee. So they fired me from my job at the post office. Finally, a file came and we saw that they were interviewing me and my employee at the post office and asking if they ever saw anything suspicious. Everyone said, no, he's a great guy, he's a model employee, and he's just a plain old awesome guy. John Edgar Hoover wanted me and the Panthers to be seen as violent, but he knew our real strength was not the guns. Just look at my family tree, the military awards, the name of my relatives, birthdays, high school teachers, and more. These are my FBI files.
Hey, hey, hey. The SFJAZZ Collective, ladies and gentlemen. Man. That was fantastic. My name is Gabe Meline. I am the senior editor for the Arts and Culture desk here at KQED, covering arts and culture all over the Bay Area, including in no small measure jazz and SFJAZZ. And I've just got a couple questions for these guys so you can get to know them better. Warren, that was incredible. You've all, I think, embarked on this project of writing musical compositions based on visual artworks at the DeYoung Museum by Bay Area artists. And I wonder, as composers, how does one go about taking a piece of visual art, sometimes 2D visual art, and translating it into musical notes and tones and feel like you just did?
Everybody has a different way of going about that. I think number one, the main goal for all of us was to reach out to the artists and actually talk to them first and get a sense of what they were thinking. And once we got their reaction, we kind of maybe taken our own thoughts, sat at a piano or however we composed and, just put it down. It may be from meditation to just, a lot of quiet time and just, over time, just taking lots of little notes and putting them all together, and then what may come is, what it is. But everybody might have a different answer to that.
Right. Well, I do want to ask, in that piece, I heard, minor key, almost like a sense of pursuit, like the FBI coming after Sadie's dad.
Yeah. One of the key things, at least toward the middle part of that song, for me, I wanted to kind of dive into like the 70s vibe of how music was back then. Like when you're listening to, the main song I like to always quote will be, not that it sounds like it, is Papa Was a Rolling Stone by the Temptations, that 70s psychedelic funk. So I wanted to kind of incorporate that, which is why I had David playing the drums a little bit, just so we could put ourselves into that mind frame, or time frame, I should say.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone else want to talk about their composition and the process of turning visual art into musical art, if you will? I have a microphone here too, if you need it.
My very similar to Warren. My piece is it's a little bit, first of all, the only piece that is an actual sculpture is mine. I chose that. It just caught my eye. And then when I started reading the narrative and the story behind, I was like, oh, wow, this is super interesting. And it's about pretty much about the complex situation in the U.S.-Mexico border. And, he basically took a crushed migrant bicycle and ensembled that with a seat, a border patrol seat. And it was incredible. It's almost like allowing the migrants to have a voice. And by the way, also the other side to have a voice with that, because the piece is also, he utilizes as a musical instrument as well. So it's like an abstract, kind of like a atonal instrument, making all these sounds. And I thought it was so clever of his. And outside, the piece looks great too. So, that's how my process was, basically trying to go with the story behind. So that's why my song and my composition starts kind of like abstract mystery, kind of like an intrigue. And most importantly, it doesn't repeat. It goes from one section to the next. And that is basically representing the struggle of our struggle as humans. It's a human condition. And we all want to thrive. we all have at some point, or our ancestors had the struggle for survival and a better life.
Yeah. When jazz is a improvisational music when you're taking solos. When you're all soloing on these songs, are you also thinking about the meaning behind the visual artwork as well? Kendrick, you're nodding your head.
I mean, absolutely. We're always trying to embody the subject that we're playing, and our improvisations are always spurred from those feelings that we're playing from, the subjects that we're playing from, and creating a dialogue like this dialogue we're having right now, but just in oral form. So I think that's when it gets really deep for us, when now we've been playing this music for 2.5 weeks, and just to see where the music has grown from when it was conceived and brought in to where it is now, you know. And I think those things that were brought in are just the seeds of what it is now. And then it's still gonna keep growing and growing. And then our improvisations grow around that. We can be more abstract or more right on point, whatever, you know. Oh, excuse me.
That's fine.
Just like that.
The SFJAZZ Collective has been around for 20 years now as a evolving group with rotating members. And this is not the first of special projects the SFJAZZ Collective has embarked on. I wonder if one of you can just give a brief history of the SFJAZZ Collective and what its purpose is. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, well, I'm the actually the longest serving member of the collective. I've been with the group for 15 years, I believe now, and the ensemble was really the brainchild of the founder of SFJAZZ, Randall Klein, and Joshua Redman, who was the first musical director of the band. So it was first formed. It was an octet originally, and it always had a similar instrumentation as this. It just had alto, saxophone, and trombone. And every year, the band was commissioned to write an original work for the piece. Each ensemble member would write an original composition as well as an arrangement by a chosen composer. Each year, we would feature the music of a contemporary jazz master. And we've covered the music of many greats, such as John Coltrane, Thelonious Monk, Herbie Hancock, McCoy Tyner. And in some years, we even branched into the music of Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. There was one year we did the music from Sly, Sly Stone, thank you, and Miles in a silent way. And, you know, it was there's been, it's in a continually evolving ensemble in the sense that not only are we covering different music each year, but also there's members that come and go. You know, as people leave the ensemble, new ensembles members come in and they bring their own set of influences and energy to the band. So, yeah.
I have one more question, which is, since we are at a journalism funders conference, I want to ask about the importance of well-supported, well-funded arts journalism. You know, I wonder how important knowledgeable, experienced, you know, coverage of the work that you do is, especially in this era where a lot of human work is being replaced by AI algorithms and Spotify playlists. You want to take that?
Yeah, for me, the arts coverage is extremely important because I got into jazz because my dad's a jazz musician and my mom's father was a jazz musician, and there was always music in the house. But I think if it weren't for that, I don't know if I would have really heard about jazz, really. Like, it's not, jazz and classical music and other art forms aren't really a part of everyday life for most people going to school. And I think people just need more exposure to it for it to continue thriving as an art form. And I think that's one thing that journalism can do, is kind of point people in the direction of different venues and different artists and different albums to check out. I think journalism can do a great job just raising awareness about the arts in general. You know, if you weren't lucky enough, I think most of us kind of came from musical families in some way. And if it hadn't been for that, I was like, I don't know where I would have heard about jazz or been educated about it. So,
Yeah, great. All right, we're going to hear one more song from the SFJAZZ Collective. If you like what you hear, they're playing Thursday through Sunday at the SFJAZZ Center. Feel free to go check them out. And yeah, let's hear another song for the SFJAZZ Collective.